Hi, either you're having an iron infusion, someone you know is having an iron infusion, or you're checking up on me, which is very kind of you. Here's a little video of my journey with my first iron infusion. I am now done with them. This is the aftermath. And a little backstory: I've been anemic my whole life. I also have Marfan syndrome, which is a whole other thing. Kind of correlate, kind of don't, but everything kind of stems from me having Marfan's, so just add on that. This is the first time I've ever needed an iron infusion, and it started with me having a lot more heart problems than usual. I have a mitral valve prolapse, heart murmur, and a dilated pulmonary artery. Again, there's another video on what that is. So I noticed some things were going wrong that weren't those normal issues, and I've had extreme fatigue, and I can't think, and just overall feel like I'm gonna die. So I went and got my heart checked. I was also a little overdue, but I ended up getting a heart monitor, which is also another video, and we did labs. And during those labs, apparently I was just too anemic. I got a my check notification. It's already been pre-approved. They're gonna call me and schedule this. Perfect. Was so relieved that I had to get an iron infusion, and not that I want to be that ill, but that there is a solution and a reason that I am this ill. And I don't receive a call for like a week. Not surprised, but I keep waiting, and I realize, because I get struck very easily, it's been a month. Call the clinic, hey, but they're like, oh, we don't have any order for you. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. Contact my doctor. We'll re-fax it to them. I wait like 2 weeks. Never got a call. I call them back. Hey, is the order in? Nope. No, it's not. Contact my doctor again. They're like, okay. Confirm that this is the right one you're calling. Yep. Everything, right fax number. Confirm with them. She's gonna contact them. She is resending the file again. It's been another 2 weeks. Almost 2 months now. Call again. Didn't have it. Let me contact my doctor again. She's like, okay, I'm gonna contact them myself. And she's like, let me email them. And like, that was the alternative video that you said, like, send it through their email. Now wait a week. I call them. Try explaining the situation more. I called a few times now. It's been a while. You know, our fax isn't going through to you. So we emailed it, and the lady's just not listening to me. And she's like, yeah, I don't see your order here. And I'm like, no, it's not. We didn't fax you. We emailed you. She's like, what do you mean? What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
We sent you an email. She's like, okay. Let me see. She finds it. She's like, oh, yes, we do see it, but it's for one of our doctors, and he's not here right now, so we can't open it, but we'll call you when he gets in. They'll say when he'll be in. Why can't you open it? Go back 3 days later now. Hey! You said you found it. It's through email. You said it was a certain doctor. Schedule it. Finally, I don't think the doctor was in. They're like, okay, yeah, we can go ahead and get this scheduled for you. They're looking at my little file. I guess your doctor is ordering 5 iron infusions. But they all have to be within 14 days. But okay, cool, more the merrier, I guess. So we scheduled them like 2 days before my iron infusion. My first one was scheduled. They're like, hey, we gotta cancel. Our clinic's not ready for ya. What? The whole scheduling process. Something else. Is it new? No. But absolutely frustrating. So if you deal with that as well, I'm so sorry. Just keep pushing. Other than it being my first iron infusion, I have an issue with blood transfusions. Last time I ceased, and we don't really know why, but ever since then, no blood transfusions, just in case. Iron infusions and blood transfusions are very different, obviously, but it's still, you know, similar. So a little anxious, and I think my team was a little bit too, just the way they scheduled it. I will go over all the symptoms, stuff like that, after you watch, and then you're just gonna watch me go through it a little bit. Trigger warning, there are IVs, you can't see like the needle, But obviously you can see the IVs in my arm, so just letting you know, because I don't like those either. So enjoy.
Yeah, we've got one on 11/13,
So for my first iron infusion, they started me with a flush of saline, and then they got out a little vial of iron and they attached it to my system, and it ran for 15 minutes. During this time, I asked if there would be any symptoms, and she said the only thing you may feel is burning. Good to know. And indeed, it did burn. It burned a bit. But to be honest, I think it was mostly just the IV because she did not place that IV correctly. And of course, we all loved this taste of saline. But I could also taste the iron, and it tasted like burnt caramel and gasoline. I hope you don't have a sensitive stomach because it did not taste the best. This is right after my second iron infusion.
Disconnected.
But it was chill. The needle, the IV was really smooth, and the first time I did it, it was not. So that was nice. And it tasted like caramel again, but it was not as strong. And I think they did it a little differently this time. They like mixed it with the saline and like gave me a bag. And the first time they just did like a vial of the iron and then saline in its own pouch. So I don't know if I made it taste different, but it tasted a lot stronger last time I did it. So but yeah, chill. And then it ended up being a 30-minute draw this time instead of just like 10 to 15. But apparently it was the same dosage. It was 200 milligrams, I think. Hopefully, I don't know. They said 200 something. I don't know if it's milligrammed, but that's the only percentage I know. I'm so out of it right now. I'm sorry. This is the next day for my second iron infusion. I have now fallen asleep right after both of them. I think it's a trend. Though the hospital keeps doing this weird thing of taking my wristband. If you've ever been to the hospital, which I kind of assume, but you know, they give you a wristband with your name and a little bit of information and some things they can scan to confirm that they're giving you your medication and all that whatnot. And the last 2 times I've gone, they have taken my wristband, taken it off me, or just ripped it off me too, like we do when we get home. Like I was like, what the I've never seen them do this before. And every time I'm like, I pick it up because it's my wristband, and they're like, oh no, I got it. It's like, oh, I can shred it for you. And I was like, no, I clipped them, we're good. And both times, both nurses have looked real concerned with that. Never in my 20 years of being ill has a nurse, doctor, anybody ever taken that either off me or from me. And I don't know why they're doing that. I don't know if it's just the hospital I'm going to, or if it's some new type of protocol I should be aware of, but I definitely don't like that. Don't know why they're doing that. And I do collect them. Like, they're my little trophies. So I'm keeping them. They're mine. But I'm just curious if anyone's had that recently, because I've never in my entire life. That's for the first iron infusion. Everything went great. At home, kind of waiting to see if I feel anything, and I didn't feel anything different. And then like 10 minutes go by, and then I started getting sleepy. And I started feeling like burning in like some of the veins in my ankles. That went on for a couple minutes and it kind of went away. I think I passed out. Not like passed out, but you know, took a nap, woke back up, and then I started feeling kind of like burning, like in my thigh, and then it kind of went to like my wrists, and then kind of like my chest area. It was kind of like going from the bottom of my body upward, slow, like throughout the entire day. Just random burning sensations. I'm assuming it's like the iron and stuff like that going through everything, making its way. Right before I was about to go to bed on the first round, I started feeling like this burning in my heart. And then for the next like 10 minutes, it was like very bad, but it felt like burning and stretching. And if you never felt like your heart stretch, I'm trying to think of how to explain this. Just think of like heartburn. It is just pretty much, like I said, it's burning. But if you ever get at the point where you run so hard, you're out of breath, and your heart hurts because you're just going too hard, that burning and kind of exerted feeling, I have that pretty often because one of my valves, and like it's enlarging. You know, all that. So I was aware of what I was feeling. 10-15 minutes of just not the funnest time, but Chance did great. He just held me as I cried. Eventually it didn't go away. Like, it didn't just be like, oh, no more burning. It just kind of just calmed down. It was just kind of just like a simmer, a little stovetop. Woke up and the stretching feeling had kind of calmed down, but it just kind of burned, and then it kind of just burned for like most of the day the next day. But then kind of the burning all over the body stopped, so it was just kind of just my heart. It was just like very confused with what was happening. And this one, it was yesterday. I don't feel any difference. I haven't felt any burning. I haven't felt really any burning in the heart. I haven't felt any stretching. The only thing I felt with this second round is just falling asleep. Afterwards, I'm getting really sleepy. Now I still have 3 more to go, but I want more, please. That was my main concern when we went in there. And I was like, hey, is this one only like 10 minutes as well? Because I really thought about being admitted. Okay, I don't know if only 10 minutes iron is good to do it, especially like, and they're like, no. And then they came back like, actually 30 minutes, which made me feel a little better. But then she was like, oh, but it's all the same dosage throughout the entire time, like all 5 appointments. It's all the same dosage. So I'm like, okay, well, then I just have to wait longer for the same amount of iron. Cool. I'm excited for how I'll feel at the end of it, you know, on the 5th one, if it really will do a difference. And if it doesn't do a difference, I'm gonna crash out. This infusion was pretty easy, and everyone was super nice, and they gave us juice boxes, so I'm happy. This infusion also went pretty smoothly. There wasn't any problems, and Chance found a DS for me, a DS Lite that we picked up after the infusion, so it was actually a pretty good time. I am very happy, and I use that DS very often. And Chance took time off of work every infusion to take me, be with me during it, so I'm so lucky. And also, I wanted to show you the room I was in. I thought it was gonna be like a office, you know, like a private room, but it was just one big room full of people, kind of like a blood drive. Never done it, obviously, can't, but heard of it. And luckily you could have like curtains closed, as you could see. But yeah, totally didn't expect that. I thought it would be a room. Last and final iron infusion, and weirdly enough, this one really did burn. I felt it all through my arm, and I don't know why it was different, but yeah, that one was a little bit of a burn-in sensation for sure, but I have my cool DS, so can't complain. Good morning. This little segment's gonna be all over the place because I am just waking up and drinking my coffee now, so I'm gonna try my best to talk. I am now like 5 days past my last iron infusion. So I had 5 iron infusions within 14 days. So now the main recap of my little experience here. I do feel day to day that I have like more color in my face and I'm like a little less like I'm gonna die. And my hair has been a little better. It does help that I have gained almost 10 pounds since the start of that, because we've been trying to work on my weight, because the other thing is that I'm underweight, and we don't exactly, I'm anemic, but we don't fully know why I'm anemic. Like, my doctor hasn't said like I'm deficient because my body's not making this and this and that. I know I don't have ferritin, I think, something like that. There's a few things I'm missing, and white blood cells, which I gotta ask them about that because it doesn't correlate to iron. My weight might be a factor of why I'm so anemic, too malnourished to produce iron, you know? So it's another reason we've been up on my weight. And a little side note for that, my fiance made a food plan for me, and I've been staying pretty consistent with it. And I started that 3 weeks ago, a little over 3 weeks ago ish, and I started at 96 pounds, and I'm now 105, probably 104, but crazy for me because the most I've ever weighed in my life was 102, and that was at 12 years old, and I'm 20 now. So yeah, so I started going through, and this you could also taste, and it tastes like burnt caramel and gasoline. It wasn't red. I mean, it's not blood, but like I kind of just stereotypically kind of expected it to be just like a dark red, but it was like almost brown orange-ish color. So, but I guess that's normal. And it like started burning a little bit and beeped. All done. She came in, she unplugged it, and they have to have you stay for 30 minutes afterwards to make sure everything good. And she was also like, I let her know like, hey, this is my first iron infusion. I don't know how it's gonna go, and I have a history with blood, so just kind of keep an eye on me, please. I was very happy that they already make you wait a little bit afterwards just to make sure they watch you, so I didn't have to be like, hey, can I stay here? And yeah, that was a wrap. After 30 minutes, she took my IV out, checked in with me. We were all good. I was free to go immediately. No checkout, no nothing. And we had to wait a bit for like most of them because they had to send the order to the lab, and then the lab had to mix it. Luckily for my very last one, they mixed it before I got there, which is very nice of them. But so you'll have to wait sometimes for them to like mix your iron with your saline if they do that, or like the makeup. I don't know. They said they had to make it. Don't know what that means. If you have an iron infusion, I would really recommend someone driving you. I think they do prefer someone driving you. It is kind of recommended, but I definitely could not drive after. I'm very grateful Chance took time off work to take me and stay with me and all that, because I was out of it. I felt intoxicated, I'd say that. I was so drowsy. I literally could barely keep a conversation. I could barely keep my eyes open. And I also felt pretty good after I did take my nap. But the last two I didn't sleep after, even though I wanted to. Take the nap. I encourage you, because I don't know what it is, but the next day for both trials, horrible. I felt horrible. If you hear whining in the background, I'm so sorry. It is my corgi. He wants pets, and I will give it after, but I am in the middle of something, you know? So, boundaries. Do you ever think about getting a corgi? Know that they're just like the stereotypical husky of they talk all day long. About a week since the first one started, Chance was like asking me like, oh, do you feel any better? Like, you look a little better. Like, you seem like you have a little bit more energy, but do you feel any better? And I was like, no, actually not really. Like, maybe a teeny bit more energy. And we got in, and ironically, the nurse was like, oh, are you feeling better at all? You feeling it? And I'm like, actually, no, not really. I don't notice much of a difference yet. She's like, oh yeah, you're not gonna. First off, why'd you ask? It's like, what? What you mean? And she was like, yeah, your it's going to take a long time for this actually to process through your body and your body to use it to make blood. And she said by probably my last one is when I'll actually start feeling a bit of the benefits. And then it'd probably be about a month from my last iron infusion that I will really start seeing the actual benefits of the iron infusion, which is definitely interesting because like other people I talked about, they're like, I felt amazing right after, or I felt this and that. So it was reassuring for me. You have iron infusions and you still feel horrible even after like 2 weeks, give it more time. Definitely relieved to hear that. 2.5 weeks or to 3 since I started. And she was right. My last iron infusion I got, which was like 5 days ago, I did start feeling I started feeling a little boost. A little less like I'm gonna die. And the last like 2-3 days, and I know that the eating has been helping as well, but I really do just feel like a little more awake. But that was my main thing with being anemic and like how low I was. I could not think. Lily, if you think this English is bad, you should have seen me 2 months ago. Oh my gosh. I also have a speech impairment. So there's that. But you know what I mean. I hope that in a month I'll feel absolutely fantastic. Prescribed an iron infusion, recommended, whatever you want to say. Please do it. Obviously, I can't say that I immediately have all the benefits now, but I do feel a little better, and obviously just, it's a very, very, very serious thing. People with anemia don't necessarily always get recommended this. Yeah, I'm 20 years old and I've been anemic my entire life, so it's been 20 years and this is still the first time I've ever had an iron infusion. So if they do recommend that means you have to be below a certain percentage in order to be able to even have one. So if your body is that low, please take the iron infusion. Even if they're like, yeah, just 1 round of 15 minutes, even if it feels inconvenient or just like head it full, please do it. You literally have nothing to lose. You kind of really need blood. So if you're a stubborn, ill person like me, prioritize it. Please just get it done. It takes 2 seconds. And request that day off. Overall, it was a pretty cool experience. Iron infusion waiting, or you just got done with one, or you're in the middle of one, or you want one. Who knows? I hope this was informative at least. And please let me know if there's any like your own experiences, or if you have any questions. I'm always trying to respond in the comments. I'm gonna finish this coffee now. Oh right, happy Halloween. It's not gonna get posted on Halloween, but right now it is Halloween and we're gonna dress up as vampires because we're broke. That's all we can do. Watch horror movies, and our friends are gonna come over and play Cards Against Humanity with us. So that's my night. I hope you guys have a great Halloween. And I hope your iron infusion goes absolutely spectacular. Please let me know how it goes in the comments. I'm gonna down this. Peace.